Wow. Well. I had to put on the chain, as you can see. Tonight felt special. Tonight felt different, man. Tonight felt really, really different. The New York Knicks blow out the Toronto Raptors by a final score of 145-101. That is the correct score on your screen. It is 105-101. That is the most points they scored in regulation since 1980. Since 1980. Had to pull on the Knicks chain, man. Tonight just felt different. Cavs lost. The Magic lost. The New York Knicks are all alone in the third seed of the Eastern Conference. What a game. What a victory for the New York Knicks. And 8-2 in our last 10 games now, all alone in the third seed. We have a lot to talk about tonight. And where do I begin? I can begin many different ways, man. I mean, I can begin with Mitch. I can begin with Deuce. But wow, what a victory for the squad. The chain is on, Big Task. The chain is on. First time this season I put this chain on. I usually hold off until the playoffs, but the chain is on. Third seed. We are all alone in the third seed. Bro, 145 points. Can you believe that? We scored 145 points on them. 145 points on them. And our guys rested in the fourth quarter. Didn't even need to play. Brunson, 29 minutes tonight. Wow. Lynette says, hello there. We are cooking with hot grease. Third seed. Guys, Lynette, what's going on? Look, shout out to the Hornets. Shout out to the Golden State Warriors. The New York Knicks are all alone in the third seed. S550, what's going on, man? Deuce was going for Dante's record. Since you brought up Deuce McBride, I think we should start off with Deuce McBride. What can you say at this point? Chico, what's going on? What more can you say at this point about Deuce McBride? It's honestly a joke at this point. I mean, how he's playing, exceeding my expectations times 10. I mean, his third year leap is incredible. His whole season, his shot is automatic now. 9-14 from 3 tonight. 29 points. 10-17 from the field. And to go along with that, he gave you 7 assists. That's exactly what you want to see out of Deuce McBride. And he has been, that's more than what you want to see out of Deuce McBride. He's been, guys, he's got to play a lot. And he has been playing a lot. But when everyone's healthy, he definitely needs to play a lot. Because what we're seeing out of him is crazy, right? I didn't think we would get this dose of Deuce McBride this season. And he is, it goes to show you what confidence can do in a young player, right? It goes to show you what confidence can do and what staying late in the gym can do and what practicing on your deficiencies can do. It goes to show you when you work on that stuff in the summer, when you don't get your opportunity, right when you get your opportunity, you take advantage of it, and this is crazy. This is crazy. 29 points, 9-14 from 3. He has turned into a legit sniper. If he's open, I'm expecting it to go in. Deuce McBride is incredible, and what a freaking bargain that contract was, right? 3 years, $13 million for this guy. Wow. It kind of reminds me of, you know how quickly kind of took like the first, what was it, the second or third year for Quickly, how he took that big jump? Doesn't it remind you sort of that? Like, it reminds you of, wow, like now we got someone coming in off the bench and giving us that extra punch. With Quickly, it felt the same. How I'm feeling now. And Deuce is just going out there playing freely, playing with no care in the world, and he's just playing the right way, playing the right brand of basketball. And it's incredible, man. It's honestly incredible, man. Credit to Deuce, credit to his work ethic. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. S550 says it's hunting season for the Bucks. Yes, man. Second seed. There's a shot, man. There's a shot. CM says Shake. We'll talk about Shake a little bit later, but I love what I saw with Shake Milton in that fourth quarter. Cam, what's going on? Ant-Man, these Knicks are killing it. Cam, you see the chain, man. I had to put the chain on. The chain is usually behind me. I had to put the chain on tonight. Usually save it for the playoffs, but tonight I was just feeling a little bit different, man. I mean, this game brought out this game brought out something in me, man. 145, you drop 145 on the road. That's tough to do, man. I know the Raptors they're missing like their whole squad pretty much. I know they're reeling right now, but at the end of the day, you're doing what you're supposed to be doing. You're taking care of business. And in the process of doing that, you're blowing out teams. You're taking care of business. You're blowing out teams. You're not really exhausting your guys at the same time. So the New York Knicks, man. The New York freaking Knicks. 44-28. 10 games left of the season. We are 6 wins away from 50 wins. Wow. Evan says Deuce is loose. Oh, man. Chico says, yes, sir. Leon Rose salutes. Yeah, man. I mean, wow. Wow. Led says, rebranded Saquon Hops here since he tore my heart out. Second seed. Here we come. Led, what's going on? Are you Saquon? What's going on, man? Appreciate you in the chat. Big Dad says, rabbit season, duck season. 80 at the half was wild to see. Wow. At least we know Mitch is ready for prime time as needed. All right. Took me a while to get to Mitchell Robinson, but because Deuce just had an amazing game. But Mitchell Robinson, for a guy who missed 50 games, take that, like 50 games. He missed 50 games. He played 12 minutes tonight. He looked great, right? He didn't look like he was rusty at all. I mean, he had a nice block. He looked great. He looked like he fit within the offense. It kind of flowed with him. For a dude that missed 50 games, what we saw to Mitchell Robinson tonight, and I was watching very closely. And for him to go out there in 12 minutes and in 8 points, 2 rebounds, 2 blocks for Big Mitch. Look, man, and it's exciting stuff. It really is exciting stuff for Mitchell Robinson, honestly, because for him to miss that much amount of time and for him to come in here and just look that good, I didn't think he was going to look that good. But, man, oh, man, Big Mitch, he came in here. He came back tonight after missing 50 games, man. 50 games. That's a lot of games. That's a lot of games for somebody to miss. So I love what I saw out of Mitch tonight. I really did. I mean, and how about Precious with that freaking crazy dunk there at the end? You could tell he hated his time in Toronto. Precious Achiuwa. Wow. But yeah, shout out. Big Mitch is back. Credit to Big Mitch. Grinding, going through his rehab, and coming back and looking like the old Big Mitch. I know it's going to take some games here, but in 12 minutes, he looked good. He looked really good. Evan says Mitch looks huge. Yeah, he put on some pounds. Let's not get that twisted. He put on some pounds, but it was an ankle injury, right? So I'm sure, in these last 10 games, he's going to get some cardio in. He's going to lose some weight, but he looks big out there, but he looked good in doing it. So I love what I saw to Mitch tonight. And it was honestly, it was an icing on the cake out of everything, because everyone left this game healthy. We saw OG before the game. Toronto gave him a nice tribute, and Precious. But yeah, Precious Achiuwa, man. 27 minutes, 19 points, 13 boards, and a huge block there at the end. What a crazy block for Precious. S550 says Precious was looking good today. The poster towards the end of the fourth quarter was just nasty work. Yeah, I tweeted it on the X account, man. That was absolutely crazy. And he kind of stared he kind of stared into the crowd a little bit, like, "Hey, look what you lost, man. Look what you lost." So, look, that dunk that's up there as one of the Knicks' best dunks this season. Knicks have had a lot of them, but that's up there. Led says, who would you want to play in the playoffs? The Magic, Pacers, or Cavs? I assume the Pacers are the most favorable. Ooh, man, that's tough. All right, guys. Third seed. Let's bring this up. Let's see it. The Boston Celtics, the Milwaukee Bucks, and the New York Knicks. That is your 1, 2, and 3. We essentially have a 1 full game lead over Cleveland because don't forget, we have that tiebreaker. So Cleveland they're a half game behind us, but really in all, it's really 1 game, right? So 44-28, we're 8-2 on our last 10. And Led says, who would you want to play in the playoffs? If the season ended today, the New York Knicks would play the Indiana Pacers. I would want to play the Pacers out of everyone, right? I would want to play the Pacers. But if you were to tell me to rank who I would want to play, it would be the Pacers, the Magic, and the Cavs. And I know the Cavs are last on my list. Look, they still have Mitchell, and I mean, he's not really healthy right now, but they still have some firepower in Cleveland. Orlando kind of scares me too with Paolo and whatnot, but it'll be their young team. They don't really have that much experience. And Indiana, I know what you're saying about Indiana, but I really do think we match up really well with Indiana and Cleveland. Those are the 2 matchups we match up well. So, in my opinion, that's the order I would go. But it looks really good seeing the New York Knicks in the 3rd seed. It looks really good. Ant, who are you giving the game ball to? S550? You know who I'm giving the game ball to. It's Deuce. It's Deuce, man. I mean, it's freaking Deuce McBride. He's literally become another Dante from 3-point land. We'll talk about Dante in a bit too, but McBride has literally become another Dante from behind the arc. And we know what he can bring defensively, and what I love is that he fits really well with Brunson, right? You see it on the court. He fits really well with Brunson. I'm trying to bring up McBride's game log here. So, all right, let me bring it up on the screen. 29 points tonight, 13 points versus Detroit, 26 versus. He's on a this has been an incredible stretch from Deuce McBride, and I mean, he's thoroughly impressed me. I mean, this dude, man, this freaking guy, man. I mean, 29 points versus tonight, 13 versus Detroit, and hold on, there you go, so you guys can see it. 26 versus Brooklyn, Denver game, Golden State game, 29 points, and look at these 3-point attempts: 9 of 14, 1 of 7 versus Detroit, 6 of 12, 6 of 9. This guy is the definition of resilience and hard work and just literally everything. I mean, Tom Thibodeau loves him. He has trust in the coach, and when you have a guy like that, 2nd round pick, still super young, hungry, still looking to improve, humble. At the end of the game, he's humble as can be. Nothing phases this guy, and that's just an icing on the cake in terms of everything else. His play on the court, and after the game, he's just like, hey, I put in the work, trust in God, I expect this, and we just move on to the next. That's Deuce McBride for you, man. Culture, right? That's what they say. And the New York Knicks have built a sustainable culture now for these last few years, right? And especially last season into this season, it's we see it. You see it. So, yeah, man, shout out to Deuce, man. Shout out to Deuce, man. This guy, I mean, he's awesome. He's freaking awesome. And I'm happy that he's on the squad. I really am. Led says OG is locked down on Tyrese. Yeah, it's looking like OG Anunoby is close, man. I mean, we saw him dapping up people a little bit in the before the game, kind of extending that elbow. I know that's not really I mean, he has to play an NBA game. I know dapping up people and extending your elbow isn't comparable. But we saw him before the game in good spirits, which is a good sign. First domino to fall was Mitchell Robinson. Second domino to fall, in my opinion, is OG Anunoby. And then it will be Julius Randle. Evan says Mitch kills Cleveland's front court. Look, if you were to give me the Cavs, Orlando, and the Pacers, the New York Knicks should win any of those matchups. Cleveland, Orlando, Indiana, the Knicks will be favored in any of those matchups. Not saying it's going to be easy. Maybe we gentlemen sweep one of them, but it's not going to be easy. But the third seed is very vital, right? You want to avoid Boston as much as possible in the playoffs. And let's say we match up against an Indiana or Orlando with OG back and now Mitch back. Maybe that gives the Knicks more time for Julius Randle to rest his shoulder too, right? I don't know. I'm just throwing stuff at the wall here, you know? I don't know, but I'm saying now that we are alone in the third seed, it opens up a lot of options. And I'm excited. I truly am. 10 games left of this regular season. We are on the verge of winning 50 games. We are 6 games away from winning 60 games. Let's go. Led says, I won't be awfully scared of Boston if we are 100%. Yeah, man. Yeah, I've been saying that. S550 says, who do you think is going to come back next, OG or Randall? Or are you still suspect of Randall's situation? I am suspect of Randall's situation. I do think it'll be OG coming back before Julius Randle. But if I were to tell you that I'm confident in Randall's situation right now, I would be lying to you, you know. It's kind of up in the air. Knicks really saying, they're not really saying much. I saw someone comment on one of my videos saying Randall is doing contact. The Knicks are just not telling anybody. I don't know if that's to be true, but that's some Randall commented on one of my videos saying he's doing contact and the Knicks don't want to tell anybody. But I don't know if that's to be true. But yeah, man, I'm nervous for Randall, but I think OG, they're just trying to get the swelling down, and I think he'll be back probably within the next 5 games. I don't think the Knicks want to push it, right? They don't want what happened to him happen again. Knicks will be 2026 NBA champs. What's going on, man? Haven't seen you in here in a while. Pacers pose the toughest matchup for the New York because they can put up points in bunches. They can, but they don't play defense, right? They don't play defense. So, inexperience, too. I think Tyrese Halliburton, I don't think he's been in a playoff series, right, in his career. So, I know that's kind of like a lame excuse, but I would like our matchup against anyone. Right now, we would match up against Indiana or Orlando or Cleveland. It's still up in the air. But right now, it would be Knicks, Indiana, first round. And that would be juicy, man. That'll be juicy. That'll bring up bring back some memories, right? Knicks, Indiana rivalry. Wow. We have 10 games left. Our schedule is fairly easy, and we play Detroit and others when we play Boston. Yeah, I think we play Chicago 3 more times, and I think we play Boston within the last 3 games of the season. Like you said, Boston will probably not be playing for anything. They will probably want to rest up their guys, and I don't think that's a possibility, right? So that you can put that as a win on the schedule. I'm not saying, you know, when we get there, we'll see. But Boston is not really going to be playing for anything. They're probably going to wrap up this 1 seed soon. But yeah, good point. Evan says, I'm thinking past Randall with OG and Mitch, we can destroy the East. I'm most excited for OG and Mitchell Robinson on the court together. You think our defense was crazy in January and crazy within the last few weeks? Just wait until those two are on the same court together. Just wait. It's gonna be night for the opponents. Wow. Nicking around, you got my sub, brother. Keep up the good work. Appreciate you nicking around, just chopping it up, man. Appreciate you for the sub. If you haven't done so already, please sub to the channel. 145 to 101. Most points scored in regulation since 1980. Think about that. 1980. Most points scored in regulation. It's crazy. You're taking care of business. You're beating the teams you're supposed to beat. That's the beauty of this Knicks team, right? 8-2 on our last 10 games, while not really exhausting our main guys. Brunson, 26 minutes, even though he had 26 minutes, still dropped, 26-7. Hartenstein still doing his thing. I wanted to bring up something about Dante. I wanted to talk about Dante really quick. We all know Dante DiVincenzo is an amazing shooter. We all know that. What's an underrated part in his game is his defense. Dante is an amazing shooter, but if you watch this dude play defense, he's great in the passing lanes. He's kind of sneakily good one-on-one on his defender. And he's sneaky. He's an underrated defender, man. Watch out for Dante. Tonight was a prime example there. Second, third quarter. I forgot what quarter it was, but he got into the passing lanes. He had, 2 blocks tonight? His recovery on his when his defender blows by him, his recovery skills are great. So we all know Dante to be an amazing shooter, but he is also an underrated defender, man. And we saw it tonight with 2 blocks? Wow. 16 games over 500, man. 16 games. Just joining us, had to put the chain on. Usually I have the Knicks chain behind me. Had to put the chain on tonight because of this crazy victory from the New York Knicks. Out in Toronto, they're missing a bunch of guys, but our guys stepped up. Deuce. We've spoken about Deuce a lot tonight, man. I mean, it's watching this guy play is therapy, man. It really is. Typically, he's such a Tom Thibodeau player. If you were to tell me, cook up some player in a lab from Tom Thibodeau's coaching tree, or who do you think, if you were to cook some player up in a lab, who would that player be? It would be a Josh Hart of the worlds. It would be a Deuce McBride, a player like that, OG Anunoby, and they're all on the same team. And it demoralizes the opponents. It really does. When you have Josh Hart flying for rebounds, Deuce McBride hitting everything from behind the arc now, and even taking his man off the dribble, Brunson doing his thing. First half from Jalen Brunson was one of his best halves, in my opinion. He was cooking them. Mitchell Robinson back now off the bench. Hartenstein doing his thing. Somebody asked me when I did the live stream earlier, what do I think the Knicks' flaws are, if they have any flaws? I think right now it's still, we could talk about Bogdanovic. It's still kind of, when Brunson is off the court, the bench a little bit, and turnovers. But I said when fully healthy, the Knicks don't really have that many flaws. They don't. And which is why this makes this season exciting, right? So, yeah, man. Bogdanovic. I want to talk about Bogdanovic too. He's starting the past couple of games. We're starting to see some things out of Bogey. I don't want to get too crazy, but we're starting to see little bits of spurts of offense from Bogdanovic. And that's what you want to see at the end of the day. Hit a lot of big shots tonight, 4 or 5 big shots. Good shots tonight, 4 or 5 efficient from 3. And what did you have? Let me take off this ad. I don't know why this ad is playing. There we go. 18 points plus 16, 7-11 from the field, 4 or 5 from 3, 2 assists from Bogdanovic. That's what you want. That's exactly what you want, right? Last game versus Detroit, he showed you a little bit. Tonight, 7-11, 4 or 5 from 3, 18 points off the bench. That's what you want out of these guys. And Shake Milton, I like what I saw in the fourth quarter from Shake. 10 minutes, 7 points, 1-1 from 3, 3 rebounds, 2 assists. So with Burks dealing with this shoulder sprain is what they're calling it, Shake can, I like what I saw out of Shake Milton tonight. He can get some run. I don't think he'll get some run knowing the rotations, but, break glass in case of emergency. You have him there sitting on the bench, another scorer who can put the ball in the basket. He's very lengthy, another good defender. You have that accessible to you on your bench. So Knicks have built, look, Leon Rose cooked this season, man. Knicks have built a good team, man. This team is going to go far. I'm excited for it. I can't wait for it. 10 games remaining of the until the playoffs, and then that's when it starts to get crazy. Led says, I have us at 51 wins. Losses to OKC and Sacramento. Yeah, we play San Antonio. That's not a pushover, right? They won their last game, even though Wembanyama didn't play. But Wembanyama is having a great season at San Antonio. That's not going to be easy, I'm just saying. But the way the Knicks are playing, they should take care of business down in San Antonio. And then OKC on Sunday, I believe. That's going to be tough. But, hey, OG for that game? Maybe. Not predicting it, but that'll be a good game, a nice test, right? Because those are the types of teams you're gonna playoff test, a little bit of test before a real thing, and I want to see how the guys react out there. Evan says Precious and Mitch are nightmares on defense. Did you catch that? Precious, I thought tonight, he's been struggling a little bit, Precious, but I thought tonight felt different. He wanted to send a message to Toronto, and he did. 19 points, 12 rebounds, 3 assists for Precious, and none other than the biggest dunk of the game at the end of that fourth quarter, which was absolutely crazy. But yeah, Precious, how many blocks did he have tonight? 2 blocks, 1 steal, 3 assists, 12 rebounds. One of his best games that we've seen from him in a couple of weeks now, Precious. So shout out to Precious, man. Look, I've been saying it every single post game. Guys goes down, another guy steps up. Everyone knows their role on this team. Nobody tries to do anything too crazy. Nobody tries to do anything more than what they're supposed to do. And that's the beauty of this New York Knicks team. You have Brunson there doing his thing. He's the head of the ship. And you have everyone complimenting Jalen Brunson. DiVincenzo is fit like a glove. I think, what is he, two more threes away from Evan Fournier's record for DiVincenzo. Should get it next game. But 16 points, 5 of 12. McBride, 9 of 14. If you have 3-point snipers around Jalen Brunson with defenders, sorry. Let's go. Knicks go 8-2 rest of the way. Bogdanovich was just a victim of Thibs' defense. First lineups with Achua. Mike says, when was the last time Thibs had a rotation that deep? I don't know. I was actually surprised in the fourth quarter when Tom Thibodeau, when he benched everybody. Knicks were up, 30? And he started to bring in Shake Milton there. And I was like, oh, okay, Thibs. It's the beauty of blowing out teams, man. It's the beauty of doing that. You can get you guys rest, get you guys rested up. Got another game on the road before we come back home against San Antonio, And look, continue to take care of business over there. And we're that much closer to 50 wins because now we are the 3rd freaking seed in the Eastern Conference. Yes, what's going on, man? Hope all is well. Mitch Blockness monster is warming up. First game back from Mitch, man. It looked good. It's exciting, right? First game back from Mitch. It looked great. That's what you want to see. And look, somebody said he put on a little weight. Mitch put on a little weight, but that's due to his circumstance. He couldn't really do cardio on that ankle. And I think Clyde said, I think Mitch has 15 dogs or something like that. They said on the broadcast, which was kind of crazy. Also has a newborn, right? So Mitch was chilling at home a lot with his newborn, with his 15 dogs or whatnot, what they said on the MSG network. Probably eating a little bit, but that's okay, right? That's okay for Big Mitch. I mean, you see him tonight. He looked great. He looked great tonight. I mean, he put on a little bit of weight, but he looked good, right? I mean, now get your cardio back, get your body back into shape, and we just go from there. But you love what you had to see in those 12 minutes. In those 12 minutes, to me, in those 12 minutes, he looked like Big Mitch. He looked like Mitch Robinson of old in those 12 minutes. Even had 1 offensive rebound. So Led says, who let the deuce out? Boom, boom. Who let the deuce out? Mike, LOL, Mitch finna lose 3 pounds a game running up and down that court. Yeah, I mean, look, 12 minutes. If the Knicks can get that up to 20 minutes by the season's end, and I'm sure they will before the playoffs start, if we can get 20 minutes from Mitchell Robinson off the bench, because, I mean, guys, and that's absolutely huge. That's 20 minutes of what he can bring for you. But yeah, I mean, you could tell. Mitch was, I mean, he looked like he put on a little bit of weight, but like you said, he'll shed that off in these next coming games or days. Got a newborn at home, got a bunch of dogs. So he was chilling. He was chilling at his house during this time off. He had 2 months to pretty much just sit back and rehab. And in those 2 months, he got to this point, and now he is back, and now he's going to help us go really, really far in the NBA playoffs, man. Guys, man, we opened up this post game talking about the New York Knicks now the 3rd seed. Shout out to Golden State Warriors. Shout out to the Charlotte Hornets for beating the Cleveland Cavaliers. Golden State beat Orlando. The New York Knicks are now a half a game ahead of the Cavs, but we do own that tiebreaker. That is very important. We do own that tiebreaker. And I wanted to bring up Cleveland's schedule because I don't think they have that easy of a schedule to close out the season. So I do think the Knicks can stay in the 3rd seed. Let me share my screen, bring up the Cleveland schedule for you guys. All right. Look, it's tough. It's tough for Cleveland. Versus Philly, at Denver, at Utah, at Phoenix, at the Lakers, at the Clippers. The New York Knicks are staying in the 3rd seed. The New York Knicks are staying in the 3rd seed. This is a tough schedule for Cleveland, and they are without Donovan Mitchell. So now we have solidified ourselves in the 3rd seed. We can kind of, stay in the 3rd seed for a little bit, hopefully till the end of the season. And like someone said, the 2nd seed, look, Bucks lost to the Lakers, right? 2 games behind Milwaukee, but they do own that tiebreaker. That's the only thing with Milwaukee. We're only 2 games behind Milwaukee, and we have 1 more game against Milwaukee at the end of the season. I think within obviously the next 10 games. But guys, if we're tied with the Bucks and then we play Milwaukee, we can get the 2nd seed in the Eastern Conference. It is obtainable. I mean, I didn't think that 2 weeks ago at all, but now the 2nd seed, we can get it. We can get it. Wow. What a freaking day. What a night. First we get Big Mitch back. Then we freaking blow out the Raptors. Precious dunking all over the place. Deuce is freaking can't miss. Brunson is passing all over the place. Scoring on everybody. DiVincenzo's playing great defense. Mitch is back. Hartenstein is doing his thing. As you can see, I'm excited, man. As you can see, I'm excited. Mike says West Coast trip finna give them at least 3 losses. Yeah, man, they got a tough West Coast trip like I just saw. See, yeah, man, what's going on? I don't think Deuce is Copeland, but I like your line of thought. Not over. Knicks, Chris Copeland. No, he's talking at Dainty. Deuce is better than Chris Copeland. Dainty. I remember Chris Copeland. He came in, gave us a little bit of spark from 3. Deuce is better than Chris Copeland. Come on, Dainty. Don't compare Deuce McBride to Chris Copeland. S550 says seeing Josh Hart under 40 minutes is crazy. It was nice seeing the starters get even more rest in between. Yeah, man, that's all. That's what it's about. And this race is so close between 2, 3, 4 that these next 10 games, it's going to be fluctuating in these next 10 games between everybody. But like I just laid out, Cleveland got a tough schedule, man. And the Knicks at San Antonio, take care of business like you have been, and then kind of separate yourself even more. And we just go from there. Orlando has now lost 2 in a row. Knicks are 8-2 in their last 10. So Miami Heat, they're in the play-in, but they're a game back of Indiana. So if they were to hop in the 6th seed, you possibly can look at a matchup of the Heat and Knicks in the first round. And that would be a subject for, we could talk about that matchup for hours. That'll be like a revenge matchup a little bit. So it's still in these next 10 games, it's gonna continue to fluctuate. And we got the Heat, I think, next Tuesday. So it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun. Mike says I'd rather play the places instead of the Heat. Even OG matches up with Jimmy. I'd rather an easier first round. Yeah, I mean, I'd rather play the places instead of the Heat. Like the Heat, I don't think they're the same Heat as last season, but at the end of the day, they're the Miami Heat, right? You'd rather play Indiana, Orlando, Cleveland before the Miami Heat in the first round. Knicks would be 2026 NBA champs. Thibs should be coach of the year. I think what's his name in OKC is the favorite, but Thibs, he's definitely going to get a contract extension. What that number would be, I don't know, but he has changed the culture since he's been here. Does he have flaws? Yes. Comes with every coach. Does he make you want to pull your hair out? Yes. But take a look at the bigger picture. Take a look at what he has done what he has done. I mean, another winning season, another locked up, pretty much top 6 seed. We're going to lock this up in the next week, probably week and a half. But yeah, coach of the year votes. I think he'll get some. I think he'll get us Dainty. Yeah, Dainty. I don't like that Chris Copeland, Deuce McBride comparison, man. Deuce is playing way better than Chris Copeland. And I remember Chris Copeland because I remember that season very vividly because that was another exciting season. But Deuce offers way more than Chris Copeland. Mike says Magic coach should be the coach of the year. They were terrible when he joined the team. Yeah, I mean, you got a lot of great coaches in the league. You got a lot of great coaches that will get coach of the year votes. Thibs is right there. I mean, right there. I mean, the Boston coach, even though I think he's just a passenger on that team, you know, just a team with tons of talent. Look, you got a lot of coaches. OKC, Mike Malone. You got a lot of coaches that will, you know, try to win coach of the year and get coach of the year votes. So that should be a little fun debate, right? But guys, third seed in the Eastern Conference, Deuce McBride. Let's talk about did we touch on everything that I wanted to touch on? Deuce, look, 6 of 8 from 3 in the first quarter. I opened it up the post game. It's honestly like it's at this point it's crazy. It's honestly crazy. 16 games over 500. Shake Milton looked good. Mitchell Robinson is back. The Knicks are 8-2 in their last 10. Dante played great defense tonight, even shooting his sniper. Dante's a sniper. I can go down the list. Hartenstein, good game out of Hartenstein. Josh Hart, doing Josh Hart things, not doing too much. Mitch looked great, man. Mitch looked great. In the 12 minutes, he looked great. He looked better than what I was expecting from Mitch. Shake looked great. Precious, amazing game from Precious. All in all, if this game was a 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10, put on the chain to open up the post game. And I this game was one of those games that you sat back in the third quarter. It was over. It was a wrap, like the Pistons game. First half, it was a wrap. It was a wrap. Knicks, what team in the East could lose 3 starters for nearly 3 months and counting, and have them in the top 3 seeding? Say it again. This is without Julius Randle and right now without OG Anunoby. Remember, there was a time there when those guys were out where the New York Knicks were kind of reeling a little bit. And then OG came back and it kind of put a spark in his team again. Now OG's out again. Now the Knicks are continuing to win. OG's status is still up in the air. Randle's status is still up in the air. Guys are starting to get more comfortable. You get Mitch back tonight. He plays extremely well. You kind of ease him in a little bit. These next 10 games will kind of get him back in the flow of things. Mitch Robinson, Isaiah Hartenstein, that's demoralizing to opponents. Like, it's demoralizing. Al, what's going on? Biggest home beat down in their Raptors history. Is that a fact, actually? I mean, that's crazy if that's a fact. Biggest home beat down in Raptor history. Wow. Look, Raptors, they're missing Quickly, Barrett, Barnes, Jakob Porto. They're missing they have like a G League team out there. And how about that Raptors guy who bet on himself, the unders? Was it Michael Porter Jr.'s brother? I mean, it's a mess over there. Like that's absolutely crazy. That's crazy. Mike says, should Randle come off the bench when he comes back? Mike. Come on, Mike. No, Randle shouldn't come on. Look, Randle, when he comes back, we don't know what version of Julius Randle we're going to see. Spot up 3-point shooter Julius Randle, bully ball Julius Randle, or no Julius Randle. We just don't know. We just don't know right now. So we just have to wait and see. But the exciting thing is, I personally thought the Knicks were going to hold off in bringing these guys back. But Mitch came back today and looked good, right? So these next 10 games, they value these next 10 games. That shows you that they're going to value these next 10 games. So we just have to wait and see who comes back next, OG or Randle. OG or Randle. All right, guys, this was fun. Second live stream of the day. I'm pooped. I live streamed the Mitchell Robinson breaking news. He came back. Make sure you subscribe. Really appreciate that if you guys do. Yeah, man, this was fun. This was a great victory for the Knicks, and on to the next, on to San Antonio. CM says, I think Jericho worries too much about his hair. So yeah, man, what's going on, man? But yeah, big win for the Knicks. Appreciate every single one of you in here that joined me. On to the next. As always, it is Let's Go Knicks. I'm out of here. What a victory. What a win. Peace.